Hare Krishna, welcome to this episode of Harināma Cintāmaṇi. So today we will be looking at the chapter 14, which is Seva Parad, or offenses in serving the Deity. So we'll seek the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and the Parampara with the Mangalacharan prayers, and we will begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome to this episode of Harināma Cintāmaṇi. So today we will be studying the chapter 14, which is offenses in serving the Deity. So why are we even discussing Seva Parad or Deity Aparad when this whole book is about Harināma Cintāmaṇi? It's about the holy name. So for the neophytes, deity worship will still be essential until one comes to a point where especially for the third class, it is said, third class devotee, deity worship is still essential. So in our progressive advancement, we still have to have deity worship, and therefore this is also discussed as one chapter of this book. Alright, so Jai Gaura Gadadhar Jahannava Jivan Jaya Sitapati Srivasadi Bhaktagan. Mahaprabhu said, "Listen, Haridāsa, you have revealed the truth about offenses to the name, but by this the jivas of Kali Yuga will become fortunate." Okay, before we go further, I request all the devotees to kindly share it among the devotee community, this class, so that others can also be notified, because it's today, it is quite a bit late than usual. So please notify them so they can also join. So listen, Haridāsa, you have revealed the truth about the offenses to the name. By this the jivas of Kali Yuga will become fortunate. You are the Acharya of the holy name. When I hear the description of the name from you, I feel great joy. You are the Acharya in conduct and learned as a preacher, and your character is decorated by the jewel of the name. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is saying that he is very pleased with the explanations of Haridāsa Ṭhākura. So that is the secret of preaching. By our preaching, we have to please not the masses, but Krishna, Guru and Krishna. So if we can please them, our preaching is successful. So our philosophy should not deviate from what Srila Prabhupada and the spiritual master and Krishna are speaking, the bona fide spiritual master. So if we deviate from that, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not be pleased, Krishna will not be pleased, Guru will not be pleased. But even if all the Asuric population, if they are pleased, it doesn't matter. We are all going to hell. So it's not about pleasing the masses. But see how Srila Prabhupada has prayed when he went to America. He prayed to Krishna, please make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. That did not mean that, oh, please make me please them. No. I want to please you by whatever little I know. Prabhupada is putting humbly. And by that, let them understand the true message, your true message. So that is the real success of speaking. Krishna must be pleased, Guru must be pleased. So now, the next point is that what will please Krishna? What kind of a person pleases Krishna? And here, you are the Acharya in conduct and learned as a preacher, and your character is decorated by the jewel of the name. So there are two things. Advaita Acharya. There is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita which says, I think Advaita Acharya, in the matter of, because Advaita Acharya called Haridāsa Ṭhākura for feeding, because on the anniversary of his father's passing away, he wanted to feed Brāhmaṇas. He had to feed Brāhmaṇas because that's a custom. And he invited Haridāsa Ṭhākura, and Haridāsa Ṭhākura asked, why are you calling me? Because I am low born, I am from a Mlecha family and all this. So why did you call me? And then you are well known as a great among the Brahmin community. And if you do this kind of thing, then nobody will accept you as a Brahmana. So you are doing this at a great risk of your reputation by calling me. You see how humble Haridāsa Ṭhākura is. Excuse me. Hare Krishna. So how humble Haridāsa Ṭhākura is. He said, why are you calling me? You are doing this at a great risk of your reputation. You are known as in the Brahmin community as a great leader. And now you are calling me, who am come from Lecha family. How is this possible? Then Advaita Acharya said, you are more than 100,000 Brahmanas combined. And among the Vaishnavas also, he said, there are many who will practice properly but may not preach. And then some may preach properly but may not practice. But you are very rare who preach and practice. There is such a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I don't know if I can find that. If any of you can find, please let me know. Just a second, I'll just do one attempt, and then if I cannot really find, okay, Nishita Mataji, very fast, huh? Antya 3.222. You all are very fast at this. I don't know, I just am very, very slow in the searching. I don't know how you all find out. Okay, this is the point where, oh, it's not even 100,000, 10 million. Sorry. Okay, so this is about it's somewhere here around this. So you can see this. Tumik haile hoy koti brahman bhojan, eto bali shraddha patra karaila bhojan. Feeding you is equal to feeding 10 million Brahmanas. Advaita Acharya said. Therefore accept the shraddha patra. Thus Advaita Acharya made him eat. Now, it is somewhere here, if I am not wrong, that part where this is the Shraddha Patra. There is that thing where he said, there are many example and precept. I don't know if any of you can find, please let me know in the comments. Let's see if or maybe I'm mixing up two different pastimes. This is definitely the equal to many Brāhmaṇas, but I don't know if it is in the same place. But he was told this, that there are many preachers and there are many practitioners, but you practice and preach. So that kind of verse is there. I just can't find it, I don't know. I'm not going to waste your time. So here the Acharya in conduct and learned as a preacher, and your character is decorated by the jewel of the name. And sometimes people may be morally seeming upright and all that, but from their mouth the name of Krishna does not come out. They don't chant. So that is not a sign of a good character. The so-called secularist, moralist principle is nonsense. Nobody is moral unless he is a devotee of Krishna. That's it. Whether people like it or not, we don't care. Because if I am taking something from Krishna and I don't even acknowledge that, I don't even have gratitude, I don't even chant his name, I am a thief to start with. Forget about all morality. There's zero morality there. So, if anybody argues that there is morality apart from Krishna consciousness, that so-called mundane morality has no value. That's why it is said, in the Bhāgavatam, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunaistatra samasate surah harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato bhahi. 5:18-12. All the demigods and their exalted qualities such as religion, knowledge and renunciation become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? You see, we may think good quality is secondary, money is primary. That's the way the world is going right now. Nobody cares about character. Money talks. The actual thing that will, the real currency with which we move in this material world, ए ब्रह्मांड भ्रमित कोनो भाग्यवान जीव गुरु कृष्ण प्रसाद पाए भक्ति लता बीज. The soul, wandering soul, is going up and down in the heavenly planets, hellish planets, earthly planets, in different species. On what basis? The currency that is moving us is our activity, which is based on our character. Therefore, it is said in the 11th canto, Dharmo Vittam Niranam Pretya. What is that? Dharmo Vittam. (26:32), I think. 33. Yeah. 11:26:33. You see, Dharmo Vittam Niranam Pretya. That means religion is the wealth of those who are passing away from this world. So that is the currency, that is the thing we take to the next. So we are moving to the next species or next life based on how much religion we have, and that is determination. That is determined by how we conduct ourselves, and that our conduct is determined by our character. Our character is determined by our association, because Sanghat Sanjayate Kamaha. By our association, we develop our desires. Karanam Gunasangosya Sadasadyoni Janmasu. By association with different modes of material nature, we take our birth in different places and situations. So the association is causing our desires are causing our character is causing our conduct is determining our future. So Dharmo Vittam means wealth. So if we don't have the wealth, the asset of dharma, we carry the debt of karma. It's like, just like asset and liability, right? Like, every year, every company have financial statements. Okay, this year we made this much profit, or this year we made this much loss. So this profit is our asset. We made some gain. Or if we lost, that is a negative, and we carry forward that to the next year. You see? Okay, Radhika Mataji has found out the verse. CC Antya 4, 102 and 103. Okay, 99 to 103. Okay, let's see. Sanatan Kohe. This see, I mixed up. Not Advaita Acharya and Haridāsa. Sanatan Kohe. Toma sama keva ache an. Mahaprabhur gane tumi mahabhagyavan. Sanatana Goswami replied, "O Haridāsa Thakur, who is equal to you? You are one of the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, therefore you are the most fortunate." So it's Sanatana Goswami. I am a master mixer of all kinds of pastimes. So Avatar Karya Prabhur Naam Pracharyan She Nija Karya Prabhu Koren Tumar Dware. The mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for which he has descended as an incarnation, is to spread the importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord. Now, instead of personally doing so, he is spreading it through you. This is another important thing. Avatar Karya Prabhur Naam Prachare She Nija Karya Prabhu Koren Tumar Dware. So, similarly, you see, he has come to distribute the holy name, but he is doing that chanting. He has spread the importance of chanting through you. Similarly, Prabhupada was asked, why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself did not go to every town and village and spread the holy name? Why did he say in the future it will be done? Prabhupada said, he left that for me. So that's how the Lord always wants to give the credit to the devotee. Pratyah kara 3 laksha naam sankirtan sabar aage karo namer mahima kathan. My dear sir, you are chanting the holy name 300,000 times daily and informing everyone of the importance of such chanting. This is the one, 102. आपने आचरे कहो ना करे प्रचार, आपने आचरे कहो ना करे प्रचार, प्रचार करे कहो ना करेन आचार. Some behave very well but do not preach the cult of Krishna consciousness, whereas others preach but do not behave properly. Achar, prachar, namer karaho dui karya, tumi sarva guru, tumi jagater arya. You simultaneously perform both duties in relation to the holy name by your personal behavior and by your preaching. Therefore, you are the spiritual master of the entire world, for you are the most advanced devotee in the world. So, this is the standard of an Acharya. And such a great Acharya, Sanatana Goswami is authorizing, Haridāsa Ṭhākura. Although Haridāsa Ṭhākura seemingly is not among the 6 Goswamis, Gaurangera Sangegani Nitya Siddha Korimani. All the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are Nitya Siddhas. So now you see, the most advanced is preaching, practicing. An Acharya means that. That's why a spiritual master must be Shabda Brahmani Nishnate Nanishnayat Pareyadi. Actually, what is that? 11, I think 321, I think. Shabde parecha nishnatam brahmanya upashamashram. Now, Guru. Tasmad gurum prapadyeta jignasu shreya uttamam shabde parecha nishnatam brahmanya upashamashrayam. Now, especially, you see, in this verse, the first 2 lines are the qualification of a disciple, the second 2 lines are the qualification of Guru. Tasmat gurum prapadyeta. A disciple should surrender to a Guru and inquire from him about the highest good. He should be interested in the most highest achievement. That is the duty of a disciple. Now, Guru, what is the qualification of Guru? Shabde parecha nishnatam brahmani upashamashrayam. Now, therefore, any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek a bona fide spiritual master and seek shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of the bona fide Guru is that he has realized the conclusions of the scriptures by deliberation and is able to convince others of these conclusions. So, this is the preaching part. He is convinced and is able to convince others. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, should be understood to be bona fide spiritual masters. So, in their personal life, they have completely given up all material life and taken to devotional service in all earnestness and without any leaving aside all other considerations, as it is said here. Brahmani upashamashrayam. That means they have completely taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, Brahmani. They have taken shelter of. So, taking shelter means to live according to the instructions of Krishna. That is full surrender, self-surrender. Karishye vachanam tava. Not that, just like in the beginning Arjuna was having vivada, samvada, discussion, debate with Krishna almost. No, this is correct, that is correct, he was saying so many things. So, he is talking about moral principles and all that, but he is not focused. He is missing the real point. So, once he has taken Krishna as a Guru and then he heard the whole Bhagavad Gita, then he said, Karishya Vachanam Tava. No more talking, acting. That is the thing. So when I hear the description of the name from you, I feel great joy. You are the Acharya in conduct and learned as a preacher. And your character is decorated by the jewel of the name. That's the crown jewel on one's character. The holy name is always emanating from the mouth of such a devotee. Ramananda Rai taught me about rasa and now you have taught me the glories of the name. Now discuss the different offenses in serving the deity, seva parad. Hearing this, the darkness in the heart of the jivas will be dissipated. So if this Ramananda teaching him rasa, of course nobody can teach anything to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he makes them speak and he sits down as a student. That is again another way of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorifying his devotees. But anyway, this conversation between Ramananda Raya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu happened in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila chapter 8. That whole section. It's called Ramananda Samvada. That whole Ramananda Raya's conversation is the highest limits of religiosity were being discussed in that conversation. So in that it goes on to this Vipralamba Bhava, which is even among the Gopi Bhava also it is the highest. So it goes all the way to the limits or to the zenith. So Haridāsa said, so this is when he is starting to speak. Those who are serving the deity know about this. I have simply taken shelter of the name, so how can I know? You see again. Those who are serving Haridāsa Thakur is not serving the deity. First of all, from a social customs standpoint, he was so-called from a Mleccha family. He's not even from Brahmin, not even from a so-called Hindu family. He was from a Muslim family. So, especially 500 years ago, they were very orthodox. So, he was not even, not to speak of worshipping the deity, he was not even allowed into the Jagannath temple. He never entered the Jagannath temple, although he was staying in Jagannath Puri. But the Lord is so kind. Jai Gaura, Shai Krishna, Shai Jagannath. Vasudev Ghosh has sung. Jai Gaura, Shai Krishna, Shai Jagannath. So, who is Gaura, is Krishna, is Jagannath. So that Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally come every day to see Haridāsa Thakur. What if they don't allow him to go into Jagannath Puri? The Lord himself comes out and, takes his darshan. That is how glorious. I mean, just see this verse. 7:14-42. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nanvasya Brāhmaṇā Rājan Krishnasya Jagadātmanah Punantah Pada Rajasa Trilokim Daivatam Mahat. My dear King Yudhishthira, the Brāhmanas, especially those engaged in preaching the glories of the Lord throughout the entire world, are recognized and worshipped by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the heart and soul of all creation. The Brāhmanas, by their preaching, sanctify the three worlds with the dust of their feet, and thus they are worshipable even for Krishna. Haridāsa Thakur was like that. So he was personally visited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to take his darshan. So, seemingly, he is following all the social custom, but you see the secret in all of this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking his darshan. Next, so first of all, social point of view, he was not even allowed there, deity worship. Secondly, now we are, not fixed up in our chanting, and so we have to be engaged in so many different types of services. Krishnarthya Akhila Cheshta. A devotee should be engaged in all kinds of activities in relation to Krishna, so that his restless nature can be employed in Krishna's service through different services. So that is in the beginning stage. But when one advances, he also engages in all kinds of activities, but out of pure love, the only impetus being Krishna. Having said that, in this material world, according to the empowerment, the devotee may accept one form sometimes, one form of devotional service, and does it to the extreme perfection. Like Haridāsa Thakur, he chanted. Of course, he preached also. And he was chanting continuously, whole day, every day. So that level, who can, chant? So all deity worship, everything is included in that. So for that reason, the Parikshit Maharaj, he heard Shravane Abhavat Parikshit Vaiyasakir Kirtane. Oh, it is not here. Vaiyasakir Kirtane. Okay. So Madhyalila 22.136. Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshidabhavad Vaiyasakih Kirtane Prahlada Smarane Tadangri Bhajane Lakshmi Prithu Pujane Akrurastvabhivandane Kapipatir Dasyetha Sakhyarjuna Sarvasvatmani Vedane Balirabhut Krishnaptiresham para. So there are 9 forms of devotional service. Here, each form of devotional service, which devotee has become perfect by performing which. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. Did I miss out anything? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So these are the 9 processes, right? So, Maharaj Parikshit attained the highest perfection, shelter at Lord Krishna's lotus feet, simply by hearing about Lord Vishnu. He just did hearing. Of course, he ruled as a king, he made sure, he also engaged in so many activities. But finally, when it came to the point of his, last point of his life, then he just heard. And he attained perfection. Shukadeva Goswami attained perfection simply by reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Kirtana. So Haridāsa Ṭhākura also is in this category. He also just chanted the holy name and preached. And Prahlad Maharaj attained perfection by remembering the Lord. Smarane. The goddess of fortune attained perfection by massaging the transcendental legs of Mahavishnu, Padasevana. Lakshmi. Prithu Pujane, Maharaj Prithu attained perfection by worshipping the deity. Akrura attained perfection by offering prayers unto the Lord. Akrurastu Abhivandane. What is that? Kapipatir Dasye. Vajrangji, Hanuman, attained perfection by rendering service to the Lord Ramachandra, Dāsa. Sakhya, and Arjuna attained perfection simply by being Krishna's friend. Bali Maharaj attained perfection by dedicating everything to the lotus feet of Krishna. This is from the Padyavali 53, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And we have Ambarish Maharaj, who did all 9. All 9. Perfection in all 9 of these. Ambarish Maharaj. So Krishnartha Akhila Cheshta. But Haridāsa Ṭhākura was very much into chanting. One second, we will go back there. But so he, although he has no need to do anything else, but he is again humbly presenting himself. Those who are serving the deity know about this. I have simply taken shelter of the name, so how can I know? However, not to violate your order, I will elaborate. Humbly presented, but you see the limits of his knowledge, how he will explain. Concerning service to the Murti of the Lord, there are many offences listed in the scriptures. In one place, 32 offences are mentioned, and elsewhere 50. So he is not at all ignorant of deity worship and all the nuances of deity worship and everything. He knows completely. The learned have divided these offences into 4 types. Offences in directly serving the deity, offenses in establishing a deity, offenses in taking darshan of the deity, and in general offenses committed against the deity. Wow, this is the first time even I am listening to this. So deity worship offenses, sevaprad, into 4 categories. While directly serving the deity, in establishing a deity, taking darshan of the deity, and general offenses. Wow. You look at this. I mean, the depth of his knowledge. Okay, these offenses are mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami also. But the categories, again, these 4 categories I have not heard before. Maybe they are there, I don't know. But I did not hear until now. I don't remember hearing at least. The 32 offenses listed in the Bhagavatam are as follows. 1. Entering the temple with shoes on. 2. Entering on a palanquin. Now, palanquin, that means to come in a opulent vehicle. That also includes car or anything. So usually one is not supposed to come to the temple in a opulent way. But nowadays, I mean, if people have some car, I mean, who can stop? So even temple have parking space. We also have parking space here. So usually temple we have to come by foot. But of course, if you're coming from far, how is that possible? So mainly the thing is, we are the servant and not the Lord. Usually Palaki Yatra is there. In some temples they carry the Lord on a palanquin every evening before resting the deity. Putting the deity to rest. They will have a parikrama and then Sankirtan will go on like that. So the Lord is supposed to be traveling on a palanquin, not anybody else. And nobody is a boss in front of the Lord. So in that way. And then number 3, not observing festivals. It is an offense. Not observing festivals is an offense. Not paying obeisances. Reciting prayers in an unclean state. Bowing on one hand. Sometimes we bow, we have something in our hand and then we bow with one hand. Not like that. We must bow with 2 hands. Circumambulating in front of the deity. Spreading one's legs before the deity. Sleeping before the deity. Eating before the deity. In some temples, the temple is so small, they don't have another place for prasadam. There is the same hall where the prasadam is also served. At that time, the deity curtain is closed. If there is nothing else can be done, then deity curtain is closed and then prasadam is served there. Eating before the deity, speaking lies before the deity, talking loudly in the temple room, gossiping, cursing or using harsh words, thanking others in front of the deity. You see, this is also fighting in the temple. Of course, if somebody is attacking the deity, one has to fight. Like anything, one has to lay his life for the deity, but not otherwise. Fighting, in front of the temple. Hey, why did you say like this? How can you say that to me? And all these things. Crying in front of the deity. Crying in front of the deity is an offense. Criticizing others. Covering oneself in a blanket before the deity. Praising others before the deity. Using obscene language. Belching or passing gas. Not offering the best articles possible. You say, whatever best we can offer to the Lord, we have to offer. Eating food not offered to the deity is an offense. Not offering fruits in season. Seasonal fruits should be offered. Offering already enjoyed food. Sitting with one's back to the deity. Sitting directly in front of the deity. So usually one is made to sit like, on the side, like facing the deity on the one side, like that. But I don't know how much this is enforced by Srila Prabhupada. But sometimes the wall is just one, just its wall facing the deity. Not, directly in front of the deity. Usually, even when chanting, we chant like facing the side, that kind of. Then paying respects to others before the deity, not glorifying the Guru, praising oneself, criticizing deities or demigods. These are 32. Other offenses are eating the food of a materialist. Eating the food of a materialist, that means we are not honoring the deity. Oh, I am eating something else other than the deity's mercy, prasadam. Touching the deity in a dark room. You must on the light before touching the deity. Switch the light on. Approaching the deity without proper etiquette as being unclean. Opening the deity doors without musical instruments sounding. At least if no musical instruments, one should clap before opening the deity door. The pujari will know this. Offering food seen by a dog. Speaking unnecessarily during puja. During deity worship, speaking unnecessarily. Only what is necessary, okay, where is this, or anything related to the dressing itself, and that's it. Very, very minimal, in fact, zero speaking, actually. Going outside the deity room during the course of doing puja. That is an offense in itself. Offering incense without a fragrant flower. But okay, going outside the deity room during the course of doing puja. Now in this, there was one, there is some exception. Once, Prabhupada was visiting a life member in India, his house, and Prabhupada came with all the devotees, and he was at the door. Then that man, he was doing puja in his altar, and some of his house people, they came and opened the door and said, you just wait, he's doing puja and then he will come. Prabhupada left the place. Because the etiquette is, even if we are doing puja, if a Vaishnava, such a great Vaishnava especially, so if Vaishnava comes, one should leave everything and then receive the Vaishnava. So that might seem offensive, going outside the deity room during the course of doing puja. But Madbhakta puja bhyadhika, my devotee should be worshipped more, my devotee's worship is more important than my worship, Krishna is saying in the 11th canto to Uddhava. So that is to be observed. So if that is not observed, that is actually aparad to Krishna also. Krishna does not like it. Offering incense without a fragrant flower. So therefore, Dhoop Arati, when we have Dhoop Arati, we have Dhoop Arati 1, 2, 3 times in a day. Out of the 7 Aratis, 3 Aratis are Dhoop Aratis. Means only incense. The light is not offered. But whenever the incense is offered, flower also should be offered. And then, like that. Offering unsuitable flower during puja. Actually, flowers should be fragrant. Without fragrance, that flower should not be offered. But sometimes those are the only flowers we get. What to do? If we have our own flower garden, it will be possible. Like the marigold that are here, they don't have that much smell. But the same marigold seeds we planted in the farm. At one point of time, there used to be a whole garden of marigold flowers in the farm. A few years ago, in our Malaysian farm. Very nice fragrance. You come a little near to the flower, you can already feel the fragrance. And the whole garden used to be fragrant with the flavor of marigold. But, because here they do commercial thing, it doesn't, smell so nice. Or no smell even. So we need to have our own farm and our own produce. Offering answer. Commencing puja with unwashed mouth. Having sex before puja. Touching a woman during her period. Touching a lamp. touching a dead body, wearing unsuitable cloth, okay, Nishita Mataji is asking a question, but I will get to that after I list down all these things. We will read through the list. Touching a dead body, wearing unsuitable cloth, seeing a dead body. So after seeing dead body, we are not supposed to come and enter the temple room. Passing air, becoming angry, coming directly from a cremation, doing puja with yet undigested food in the stomach, eating onions or kusumbhasaka. I don't know what is kusumbhasaka. Chewing betel nuts. The deity must be offered betel nuts, but we cannot eat. Touching the deity after massage with oil and not bathing. One should not even put oil and go into the deity room, Offering flowers from an unclean pot. Doing puja at an inauspicious time. Sitting directly on the floor. Really? I don't know. We are all sitting on the floor. Touching the deity with the left hand while bathing him. Offering old fruit. Going to rot and then we offer it to Krishna. Boasting during puja. Spitting. Wearing horizontal tilak. One should not enter the temple with this kind of tripundra tilak, like a Shaivite, horizontal tilak. One should have the vertical tilak of Vaishnava. Not washing the feet. So that's why when you enter the temple, usually there is a place for washing the feet. Our thing we don't even have. Nowadays, you see, it's an apartment like, offering food cooked by non-Vaishnavas. You see, offering food cooked by non-Vaishnavas is an offense. So we cannot really cook. Oh, it is vegetarian, Prabhu, never mind, I'll just offer in my mind. No. So we cannot offer to the deity food cooked by non-Vaishnavas. Allowing non-Vaishnavas to be present during puja. And this is the reason why the curtains are closed during puja. And it's not only for non-devotees, but even those who are not second initiated don't see all the whole puja. Those who are doing puja, that's why even during offering, during puja, everything, curtains should be closed. So there was one point where Prabhupada was traveling in a train in India, and one of his Western disciples, Mataji, she opened some picture and then starting to offer with a bell the food to there's some food, some I think fruits or something sweet or whatever she was offering to the deity in the train. Prabhupada said, "What are you doing? No offering. No. This is not to be done publicly. This offering, not everybody should be seeing it. That's why when offering is going on, the curtain is closed. So it's not to be for everybody to see. So it is closed. So he said, Prabhupada said, you just chant the mantra in the mind. You just offer. So some things are not to be done publicly like that. So allowing non-Vaishnavas to be present during puja. Not worshipping Vishnu. Talking to a Shiva or Durga worshipper. It's an offense. Of course, if we're preaching to them, that is fine. But that's why we have to preach. Bathing the deity with water touched by the fingernails. So, I don't know, pujaris, I don't know how many of you do puja. When we do Abhishek for the Lord, and even during Achaman, we have to invite all the rivers, the holy rivers into the Charanamrita, Achaman cup, not Charanamrita, Achaman cup. So, Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhi Kuru. So this thing is there. And while doing that, one has to put the finger touching the water. and one's nail should not touch the water. Only the finger should touch the water. So, and the nail actually should not, even when the cup, the arghya comes, arghya from the arati, water, that is called arghya. So from that, we sprinkle on everyone. So that also actually not supposed to be touched by the nails. So when we put the finger, I see many devotees still doing that. But actually the way to do it is like that. Touch the water like that with this part of the finger and then sprinkle. Not like whole finger go inside the water and everything, nail, everything touching. Not like that actually. So it should be just like that and spread. And usually there is also the way the water is sprinkled. This is even those Brāhmaṇas, those who are in Brāhmana families, they use, they are in the customs there. So I mean, I also learned this when I was small. So even when you throw the, in Telugu we call akshintalu. Akshintalu means the rice, akshata, in Sanskrit akshata. The rice, uncooked rice, paddy, not paddy, rice, and covered with turmeric powder. So yellow rice, the turmeric rice, that akshata, to bless someone, we throw that on their head, like that. But if that other person is a senior to us, it is not thrown like this. This is for somebody junior. If somebody is senior, it is done like that. Like that. These are all nuances. So many things are there. So, little ghee and turmeric. Yeah, so that is akshata. So they throw like that on senior, and on junior it's like that. So I usually, when I do the arghya, I do like this instead of just like that. I do like this. Bathing the deity with water touched by the fingernails. Worshipping while perspiring. One should not be perspiring during worship. But some people, they perspire. So what can be done? Just seva must go on. But it's not like, the point is, when we are entering the deity room, we should not be perspiring from some hard work and then entering the deity. No, we should take a bath and and then enter the deity room. And if while doing, and because of one's body type, if one perspires a lot, that's a different thing. What can be done? But one should not enter the thing with some other activity and then fully tired and then, or not tired, fully perspiring and then coming into the deity room. Making oaths before Krishna. So when we were kids in India, God promise, I am telling the truth. They say God promise. And even in the court, Indian court, they take oath on the Bhagavad Gita. One should not actually do that. That is actually the custom. That is actually an offense if we do that. So they have their way of doing it, but from Shastra point of view, that is not the way one should do it. Making oaths before Krishna, or stepping over articles of the deity, or even stepping over Vaishnavas. All these offenses in serving the deity. Okay, there is a question, I think. So Nishita Mataji is asking, in this case, how do we define puja? Does it include reciting invocation prayers or chanting mantras too, or just serving the deity directly? Mantras also. In the temple room, whatever you do, that is. So deity worship, deity aparad means anything to do with the deity. Like if I don't observe a festival, I'm not even in the temple room, for example. So that is also an offense, to be not there when the festival is going on, something like that. So it's all related to the deity, you know. Like here it is said, you know, like for example, you see, seeing a dead body, that means at any time in our life should we not see a dead body? No, that's not the point actually. Seeing a dead body and coming to the temple, that is actually what it means, is an offense. And what is that? Crematorium. Coming directly from a cremation to the temple, that is what is mentioned. Not that coming directly from a cremation, where coming to where? To the deity, like that. Wearing unsuitable cloth. For the deity worship, the cloth must actually be without stitches. That's why the pujari, we wear the chadar. So there is no stitch cloth. Even the underwear. That's why one should not do deity worship in underwear, because that is stitched also, and it's also unclean. That's why there is kaupin. So pujaris, they know this. So they have to have kaupin. Kaupin is unstitched cloth, and dhoti, and then chadar. So like that. So of course, Prabhupada allowed women to do puja. So they may not be able to follow everything. Previous days they used to follow. During their monthly period, they don't usually wear stitched cloth. That was also there. And widows, they also don't wear stitched cloth. So those things were there. But anyway, not all can be followed. So Prabhupada made compromise. You know, he allowed Matajis to do that. And sometimes sannyasis also may do. Like Prabhupada, you will see him doing arati with shirt on. You know, and this thing. So sannyasis may do. But generally, the thing is without stitched cloth. So that is an unsuitable cloth. So like that, I mean, there are but at least for the woman, while doing the puja, one should wear the sari. Otherwise it's unsuitable. So at least that much. Although there is stitched cloth in the blouse and all these things, but at least sari. So all these things are in relation with the deity. You know, like spitting in front of the deity. Like when we are brushing the teeth, we have to also sometimes spit, right? Or we have phlegm, sometimes we have to spit. It's not that I cannot spit at all in my life in front of the deity and all these things. Of course, wearing horizontal tilak is at any time and especially to come to the temple, but even other times. So all these things. So I hope that answers the question. And there are some other questions. We will get to that. We will continue reading. At the end of the session, we will get to all the questions. So all these offenses in serving the deity will obstruct one's bhakti. Anyone worshipping the deity should avoid these offenses. The devotees avoid both seva and nama paradhs, and thus taste the nectar of devotional service. When a devotee commits a seva aparadh, he should rectify it immediately. With the nama paradhas, he must constantly be rectifying, improving and avoiding. Now, two kinds of rectification. So seva aparadh, one should rectify it immediately. And also there are prayers for allaying one's offenses. So after one does the puja in the deity room, there are a list of, I think, about 7 or 8 shlokas, prayers. One chants to allay one's offenses or to ask for forgiveness from the Lord for any offenses committed during that deity worship, whether consciously or unconsciously. Of course, consciously we should refrain from it, and we should identify and refrain from it, correct it immediately, and also seek forgiveness from the Lord for any unintentional offenses one may have committed during the deity worship. But also one should not let it be unintentional and we don't even know, we are just making the mistake on and on and on. We should be inquisitive, okay, am I doing anything wrong or something? So we should be aware of what we're supposed to do in the deity room and all these things. So, and we should correct ourselves whenever we know that, okay, this has been a mistake, okay, I should correct it from now on. So I did not know before. So that kind of things, we should know. So therefore there is training for deity worship, how to do everything, proper procedures. With the Nama brothers, he must constantly be rectifying, improving and avoiding. So basically we have to be always introspective and contemplative. Always seek to improve ourselves. One who is on the level of bhava worships the deity day and night in solitude. He makes no offenses against the name or in service because his service is performed in his mind. The main thing is to actually worship the Lord in the mind. If we are doing all external things, but if our mind is somewhere else, we are missing the point actually of the whole thing. Why there is deity worship? So that our mind can meditate on the form of Krishna that we are seeing in front of us while worshipping the deity and serving, and our mind is focused on serving the deity with how much focus we attend to it. So these are all important things. And from the deity worship, we should carry that same rules or mentality with, for example, how much carefully we have to do deity worship, not talk nonsense and all these things, because we are in the presence of Krishna. Like if suppose there is a VIP who has come and we are serving him, suppose prasadam, and then you just talk among yourselves and then some gossip, how are you, this and VIP is sitting here, you have to give full attention, na? So similarly in the front of the deity, he's the king, so we are like his servants. Not we are his servants, so we have to attend to him with full. That's why what is said, Cintāmaṇi prakara sadma sukalpa vriksha lakṣāvriteshu surabhirabhipālayantam lakshmi sahasrashata sambrahma sevyamanam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Sambrahma sevyamanam means with full concentration and attention. So that is how Lakshmis, millions of Lakshmis are serving Krishna, all the gopis. Sambrahma sevyamanam, with full attention, with full concentration. So that same thing one must carry forward to other services also. Everything that we are doing for Krishna should be like that. With full concentration, I am doing this for Krishna. So everything is Krishna's worshipable, paraphernalia for his worship. Just like the items in the deity room, they all belong to the deity and we, take care of them nicely, right? So similarly, everything that is, so the whole point of that is to actually, the advancement of a person who is doing the deity worship is that he should come to a stage where he should understand not only the deity articles or the deity's articles, but everything in this world, Ishāvāsya idam sarvam. Everything is actually the paraphernalia for Krishna's worship. So he should, in that manner, he should respect everything as Krishna's property, the deity's property, and he should use it in the deity's service. Whether it's a phone, laptop, this, that, everything for Krishna. So that is the whole idea of deity worship, to recognize and realize that everything is the deity's property and should be treated like that. So that's the whole thing. And in his mind, he must be always serving the deity. So that's how. On the order of Haridāsa, the devotees chant the touchstone of the holy name. So I think we will stop here today. Bhajan Pranali. This is quite a long chapter, so we see so much. We can do. I don't know how are you placed. Actually, I also still have some seva to do. So I think we will stop here for today and we will continue next time. So I'll take any questions that are there. Similarly, Prabhupada might have left the service of building a temple here to ISKM Singapore. Yeah, I mean, we are left with a lot of service actually. Building temple is one thing, cutting out all this, there are so many rascals that are springing up in the, like a pseudo-spiritualists, we have to attack all of that, the scientists, we have to preach to the youth, we have to, there is infinite work to be done in the matter of preaching Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada has left for us, all that service, so we have to rise to the occasion. Manjukesa Mataji, in bathing the deity, Prabhu, how is it? Prabhu, because we used to recite the mantra for the water and do achaman. I do not know what are you talking about. I don't quite understand. Because we used to recite the mantra for the water and do achaman. I don't understand. So can you share the PDF of etiquettes of puja? There's a deity worship manual. Actually, the devotees in Pondicherry, Puducherry, they have actually compiled based on a book that, based on instructions of Prabhupada. In the early days, there was a book called Archana Paddhati, the method of deity worship. So, from that book, the daily worship procedures were compiled, I think, by Nimai Priya Prabhu, and he asked me for checking if everything is all right, whether he missed out anything or whatever. But I was supposed to do it by the end of last year, but I could not do it at the time. But even now I'm kind of this thing. I need to do that and share with all the devotees. The number of rounds of dhupa, deepa, shankha, the arghya actually it is called, it's not shankha. With the shankha you offer the water, the arghya. Cloth, all are confusion because different instructions came. What is the standard? Is there any detailed description about all this? Yes, it is there in the Archana Paddhati. So you can follow that once it's out. Actually, Archana Paddhati is already available, in a PDF form. For those who are second initiates, I don't know if they have it, but it can be shared with them. So, Divya Mataji, during initiation in front of fire, one promises to follow the bona fide instructions. Does this not come under the oath in front of Sri Krishna? Yes, so that is the only thing one should, that kind of oath one should do. Usually people do things like, oh, I will do this, if you give me this, then I will break 1000 coconuts, I will do this. That kind of oaths, those are the ones which are prohibited. But to take oath in front of Krishna that I want to serve you, that is the whole point of coming in front of Krishna actually. So that kind of oath is fine. Yeah, Nimai Prabhu said you didn't check it. Yeah, I have not. I will check it. So, one promises to follow the bona fide instructions. So that oath is spiritual oath. We have to take commitments, right? To serve Krishna. So those commitments are fine. But to take oath that I will shave my head. If you can do this, if you help my family member from dying or something like that. These kind of oaths people take. Many oaths. You're not supposed to do those kind of things. Oh, you already explained it earlier, touching the fingernails. Yeah. One should not touch with the fingernails, only this part. Divya Mataji. Ujit, thank you for letting us know how to do deity worship carefully as servants serving the king. I also one doubt here, if everything we should serve as paraphernalia of Krishna, then do we need to see non-devotee also a part of serving Krishna while preaching? Yeah, of course. Of course, we cannot imitate, but we should understand theoretically that, he's actually a servant of Krishna, he just forgot. So, that's how we should see. I mean, he's supposed to be serving Krishna. So, we have to preach so that he comes to that point. Tapasya Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can we take our mobile phone in the altar? If you are hearing Prabhupada lecture, that's all right. Yeah? If you are putting Prabhupada lecture and then doing the deity worship, that's all right. Shravanam is going on. But not, you do something else on the phone while attending to the deity. So that is not good. I see some devotees, they do the Prabhupada lecture. That's fine. Don't reply to any messages, notifications and all the while in the deity room. Also, we must remember one thing, that the mobile phone, it is said, even by material standards, is more muchi than the toilet bowl, more dirty. Because our when we're talking, our saliva or something like that, and then we never wash, like years and years. Of course, nowadays the phones are coming with some kind of at least water resistant thing. So at least wipe them with, some, non-alcoholic wet wipes or something like that, and then dry it immediately or something like that. Because muchi thing we take to the altar, how? So to consider that. So make it clean and then use it, then it should be, otherwise, we are touching it at all times of the day, and then, and then we take it to the altar without even washing it. We can't even wash it. So at least wipe it clean, those kind of things. So I think that's the end of the session. So thank you all for attending, and sorry for being late today. It was my mistake actually. I took a small nap and I lost control of it. I woke up a little late. So alright, so we will meet again. I will see you on Monday if I can. Otherwise it's Wednesday. Once this Harināma Cintāmaṇi reading is done, then we can resume our Bhagavad Gita classes, Chaitanya Charitamrita classes, and also on Mondays we have not done Vaishnava songs and AM for very, very long, and we need to revive that on a regular basis. So I am actually thinking maybe every Monday have a class. Let's see how it all goes. One Monday is AM, one Monday is this thing, Vaishnava song, and again next Monday is AM, like that. Let's see. Alright, so thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Haridāsa Ṭhākura ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Bhakti Ṭhākura ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Hare Krishna.